नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी श्रीमद्भागवतम कैंटो 2 चैप्टर 4 वर्स 23 भूतैर्महद्भिर्ययिमा पुरो विभुर् निर्मायसेते यदमुषु पूरुषा भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मकन् सोऽलङ्कृषीष्ठ भगवान् वचांसि मे भूतैर्महद्भिर्ययिमा पुरो विभुर् निर्मायसेते यदमुषु पूरुषा भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मका सो अलङ्कृषीष्ठ भगवान् वचांसि मे भूतैर्महद्भिर्ययिमा पुरो विभुर् निर्मायसेते यदमुषु पूरुषा भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मका सोऽलङ्कृषीष्ठ भगवान् वचांसि मे प्लीज रिसाइट भुङ्क्तेर्महद्भिर्ययिमा पुरो विभुर् निर्मायसेते यदमुषु पूरुषा भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मका सोऽलङ्कृषीष्ठ भगवान् वचांसि मे भूतैर्महद्भिर्ययिमा पुरो विभुर्
निर्मायसेते यदमुषु पुरुषा
निर्मायसेते यदमुषु पूरुषा
भुक्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मका
भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मका
सोऽलङ्कृषीष्ठ भगवान् वचांसि
सोऽलङ्कृषीष्ठ भगवान् वचांसि मे. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Synonym. Bhutaihi by the elements.
Bhutaihi by the elements.
Mahadibi of material, Mahadbi of material creation.
Mahadbi of material creation.
Ya, he who.
Yeah, he who.
Ima, all these.
Ima, all these.
Pura, bodies.
Pura, bodies.
Vibhu, of the Lord.
Vibhu, of the Lord.
Nirmaya, for being set up.
Nirmaya, for being set up.
Shete, lie down.
Sete, lie down.
Yat Amushu, one who incarnated.
Yad Amushu, one who incarnated.
Purusha, Lord Vishnu.
Purusha, Lord Vishnu.
Bhumte, causes to be subjected.
Bhumte, causes to be subjected.
Gunan, the three modes of nature.
Gunan, the three modes of nature.
Shodasha, in 16 divisions.
Shodasha, in 16 divisions.
Shodasha Atmaka, being the generator of these 16.
Shodasha Atmaka, being the generator of these 16.
Sa, he.
Sa, he.
Alankrishishta, may decorate.
Alankrishishta, may decorate.
Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
Vachamsi, statements.
Vachamsi, statements.
Me, mine.
Me, mine.
Translation, please repeat after me. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who enlivens the materially created bodies of the elements by lying down within the universe,
May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who enlivens the materially created bodies of the elements by lying down within the universe,
and who in his Purusha incarnation causes the living being to be subjected to the 16 divisional of material modes, which are his generator,
and who in his Purusha incarnation causes the living being to be subjected to the 16 divisions of material modes, which are his generator.
be pleased to decorate my statements. Jai.
Be pleased to decorate my statements.
Purport.
Perfect. As a fully dependent devotee, Shukadev Goswami, unlike a mundane man who is proud of his own capability, invokes the pleasure of personality of Godhead so that his statements may be successful and be appreciated by the hearers. The devotee always thinks of himself as instrumental for anything successfully carried out, and he declines to take credit for anything done by himself. The godless atheist wants to take all credit for activities, not knowing that even a blade of grass cannot move without the sanction of the Supreme Spirit, the personality of Godhead. Shukadev Goswami therefore wants to move by the direction of the Supreme Lord, who inspired Brahma to speak the Vedic wisdom. The truths described in the Vedic literatures are not theories of mundane imagination, nor are they fictitious, as the less intelligent class of men sometimes think. The Vedic truths are all perfect descriptions of the factual truth without any mistake or illusion. And Chukadev Goswami wants to present the truths of creation not as a metaphysical theory or philosophical speculation, but as the actual facts and figures of the subject. Since he would be dictated to since he would be dictated to by the Lord exactly in the same manner as Brahmaji was inspired, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 15.15. The Lord is himself the father of the Vedanta knowledge, and it is he only who knows the factual purport of the Vedanta philosophy. So there is no greater truth than the principles of religion mentioned in the Vedas. Such Vedic knowledge or religion is disseminated by authorities like Shukadev Goswami because he is a humble devotional servitor of the Lord who has no desire to become a self-appointed interpreter without authority. That is the way of explaining the Vedic knowledge, technically known as the Parampara system or descending process. The intelligent man who can see without mistake that any material creation, whether one's own body or a fruit or flower, cannot beautifully grow up without the spiritual touch. The greatest intelligent man of the world or the greatest man of science can present everything very beautifully only in so far as the spirit life is there, or in so much as the spiritual touch is there. Therefore, the source of all truths is the Supreme Spirit and not gross matter, as wrongly conceived by the gross materialists. We get information from the Vedic literature that the Lord himself first entered the vacuum of the material universe, and thus all things gradually develop one after another. Similarly, the Lord is situated as localized Paramatma in every individual being. Hence, everything is done by Him very beautifully. The 16 principal creative elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, sky, and the 11 sense organs, first developed from the Lord Himself and were thereby shared by the living entities. Thus, the material elements were created for the enjoyment of the living entities. The beautiful arrangement behind all material manifestations is therefore made possible by the energy of the Lord, and the individual living entity can only pray to the Lord to understand it properly. Since the Lord is the supreme entity, different from Shukadev Goswami, the prayer can be offered to him. The Lord helps the living entity to enjoy material creation, but is aloof from such false enjoyment. Shukadeva prays for the mercy of the Lord, not only for being helped personally in presenting the truth, but also for helping others to whom he would like to speak.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Sukadeva Goswami ki Jai. So wonderful, so wonderful. Very nice words and purport. Oh my Jnanate Viranta se Jnananjana Salakya. Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swaminiti Namine Namo Acharya Padaya Nithaya Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamadhaya Nagara Grama Tharine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavade Paschatya Desatharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Hare Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan Mukam Karudi Vachalam Pangulangai Tegiri Matripatamam Sri Gurum De Tarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. So, very beautiful prayer by Sukadeva Goswami that whenever there is a preacher or taking Bhagavatam session, etc., one should never think he is taking. He should be completely dependent on the Lord and should pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be pleased with the statement to decorate them, so that the truth is to be spoken and not to show our oratorship or the speaking power or anything. So the Lord should use our mouth, our senses, everything, not that we take over from the Lord and utilize it to, for our own whims. No, because it is the senses which we are sharing is from the Lord. First, the Lord has created his own senses and then he has shared it with the living entity. So Hrishikesha Hrishikena Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. The devotional service means that you have to engage your senses in the senses of the Lord. Since the Lord is the proprietor of all the senses, who else knows better to utilize the senses? Only the Lord knows. You may be interested with the partial of the senses of the Lord by sharing, but that doesn't mean that you know how to use the senses. So, as Sukadeva Goswami prays, we should be depending on the Lord in utilizing our senses because this is the shared sense of the Lord. So, Hrishikena, Hrishikesha Shevanam. What is the desire that Lord is having on this sense? We must understand that and perform that, engage the sense in such activity. This is very, very beautiful statement in the purport that Srila Prabhupada is giving us. The 11 sense organs first developed from the Lord himself and were thereby shared by the living entities. So Hrishikesha, Hrishikena, Sevanam means we are already sharing the Lord's senses, but we are not utilizing for the purpose the Lord has shared it. We are misusing it. This is wrong. So the first descent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the expansion of Sankarshana is the first Purusha incarnation. In Bhagavatam, in first canto, third chapter, first verse, we have learned that when the personality of Godhead descends as the first Purusha incarnation of the material creation, he immediately manifests 16 elementary energies. So that is mentioned in this particular verse. This particular 16 elementary energies. Mahavishnu, he lies within the causal ocean, as you all know. And it is he who is the original incarnation in the material world. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we will be seeing in the 6th chapter of this canto that he is the Lord of time, nature, cause and effect, mind, ego, the 5 physical elements, the 3 modes of nature, the senses and the universal form. So he is the independent master of all moving as well as non-moving living beings in the material world. This material world influence, it cannot reach beyond the Viraja. Viraja means causal ocean. Okay. That's also confirmed in the 9th chapter of this canto we will be seeing. Neither the modes of material nature, goodness, passion and ignorance, nor material time have any influence on the Vaikunta planets, where all the liberated associates of Krishna live eternally. So this is very, very important. Material nature, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva, Vidhi Anadhi Ubhav Api, Vikarams Chagunams Chaiva, Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan, Bhagavad Gita says, 13th chapter. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Means material nature, living entity, both are eternal. The transformations in the modes of matter are products of material nature. So Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti is material nature and Purusha, the living entity. They both are eternal. When they both come in contact, there are different reactions, manifestations. So all of them should be considered the result of the interaction of the 3 modes of material nature. So the 16th element that is mentioned here, the elementary creation, that also we will see in the 10th chapter, last chapter of this canto. They are like 5 elements, the fire, water, land, air, and sky. Then sound, form, taste, smell, and touch. Then the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and mind. This is the 16 elements of creation, and this is known as Sarga, the Supreme Lord's direct creation. Whereas subsequent resultant interaction of the modes of material nature is called Visarga, the secondary creation. So, in order to explain the 10 divisional symptoms of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 7 continuous verses you will find. So the first of these under reference pertains to the 16 elementary manifestation of earth, water, etc. And with the material ego composed of material intelligence and mind, then the subsequent creation is the result of the reaction. Reaction of what? The 16 energies of the first Purusha, the Mahavishnu incarnation of Govinda. Yatkaranarnavajale bhajati sma yoga. Nidramananta saro makupa. Adhara shaktim avalambya param swamutim. Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The first Purusha incarnation of Govinda, Lord Krishna, he is known as Mahavishnu. He goes into a yoga nidra, mystic sleep. And the innumerable universes are situated in potency in each and every hair hole of his transcendental body. So this is to be understood. So let's go to the next verse. So Sukadeva Goswami is praying so nicely, invoking to please the Lord, and his pleasing is the declaration of the statement. So by hearing the statement, the Lord is sitting already in the form of Paramatma in the heart, so he is also hearing what you're speaking, what you're thinking. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, verse 24. Namastasmai Bhagavate
Namastasmai Bhagavate
Vasudevaya Vedase
Vasudevaya Vedase
Papurnyanam Mayam Saumya
Papurnyanam Ayam Soumya
Yanmukhamburuhasavam.
Yanmukhamburuhasavam
Namastasmai Bhagavate
Namastas
Namastasmai
Bhagavat
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya Vedase
Vasudeva
Vasudevaya Vedase
Papurnyanam Mayam Saumya
Papurjana Samya
Papurnyanam Soumya
Yanmukhamburuhasavam.
Yanmukham Guru
Yanmukhamburuhasavam
Namastasmai Bhagavate
Namastasmai Bhagavate
Vasudevaya Vedase
Vasudeva
Vasudevaya Vedase
Papurnyanam Mayam Saumya
Papurjana Maya Samya
Ayam Soumya
Yanmukhamburuhasavam.
Yanmukham Hasamam
Yanmukhamburuhasavam
Yes, please. Recite.
Namastasmai Bhagavate
Namastasmai Bhagavate
Vasudevaya Vedase
Vasudevaya Vedase
Papurnanamayam Soumya
Papurnyanam Saumya
Yanmukhamburu Hasavam
Yanmukham Hasavam Namastasmai Bhagavate
Namastasmai
Namastasmai Bhagavate
Vasudevaya Vedase
Vasudevaya
Vasudevaya Vedase
Ayam Samya
Papurnanamayam Soumya
Yanmukham Hasavam
Yanmukhamburu Hasavam
Synonyms. Nama, my obeisances.
Nama
Nama obeisances
Tasmai, unto him.
Tasmai
Tasmai unto him
Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead.
Bhagavat
Bhagavate unto the personality of Godhead
Vasudevaya, unto Vasudeva are his incarnations.
Vasudevaya unto Vasudeva or his incarnations.
Vedase, the compiler of the Vedic literatures.
Vedase
Vedase, the compiler of the Vedic literatures.
Papu, drunk.
Papu drunk
Jnanam, knowledge.
Jnanam knowledge
I
Knowledge.
am this Vedic knowledge.
I am this Vedic knowledge.
Saumya, the devotees, especially the consorts of Lord Krishna.
Samya the
So,
devotee
the devotees are the consorts of Lord Krishna.
Yet, from whose?
Yet
Yet from whose
Mukha Amburuha, the lotus-like mouth.
Mukha Ambura.
Pura, lotus-like mouth.
Asavam, nectar from his mouth.
Asavam.
Asavam, nectar from his mouth.
Translation, please repeat after me. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Vyasadeva, the incarnation of Vasudeva,
I offer my respect
I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of Vasudeva,
who compiled the Vedic scriptures.
who compiled the Vedas.
Vedic scriptures.
The pure devotees drink of the nectarian transcendental knowledge.
The devotees drink of the nectarian transcendental knowledge,
Dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the
Dropping from
the lotus-like mouth of the
purport. Gaurahari.
in pursuance of the specific utterance of Vedase or the compiler of the system of transcendental knowledge, Srila Sridhara Swami has commented that the respectful obeisances are offered to Srila Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of Vasudeva. Srila Jiva Goswami has agreed to this, but Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakura has made further advance, namely that the nectar from the mouth of Lord Krishna is transferred to his different consorts, and thus they learn the finer arts of music, dance, dressing, decorations, and all such things which are relished by the Lord. Such music, dance, and decorations enjoyed by the Lord are certainly not anything mundane, because the Lord is addressed in the very beginning as para or transcendental. This transcendental knowledge is unknown to the forgotten conditioned souls. Srila Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of the Lord, thus compiled the Vedic literatures to revive the lost memory of the conditioned souls about their eternal relation with the Lord. One should therefore try to understand the Vedic scriptures or the nectar transferred by the Lord to his consorts in the conjugal humor from the lotus-like mouth of Vyasadeva or Sukadeva. By gradual development, by gradual development of transcendental knowledge, one can rise to the stage of the transcendental arts of music and dance displayed by the Lord in his Rasa Leela. But without having the Vedic knowledge, one can hardly understand the transcendental nature of the Lord's Rasa dance and music. The pure devotees of the Lord, however, can equally relish the nectar in the form of the profound philosophical discourses and in the form of kissing by the Lord in the Rasa dance, and as there is no mundane distinction between the two.
Hari Om Tat Sat. So this is a very wonderful verse that how Srila Sukadeva Goswami, starting from prayer and praising and submitting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then gradually coming in the disciplic succession, Brahma to Narada to Vyasadeva, and offering his obeisances to the whole Acharya Parampara. Just like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when in the very first words of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was saying, Vande Gurum Isha Bhaktan Isham Isha Vatarakam Tat Prasham Prakasham Tat Chat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgyakam. So he is Vande Gurun. He is offering obeisances to the spiritual masters in plural. It is written. That means not many spiritual masters in the same level, but the list of spiritual masters in the parampara. The plurality means that. Because our misinterpretation is that when it is plural, there are many. Not like that. When it is plural, there are many, but not in the many concept of ours. The many means in the line of disciplic succession, there are many acharyas, like our Guru Maharaj, Jayapatak Swami Guru Maharaj. So when I say Vande Gurun, so not many Jayapatak Swami Guru Maharajas or not many other spiritual masters, listing Jayapatak Swami Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then Gaura Kishordas Babaji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Jagannath Babaji, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, and what is his name? So in this way, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Sat Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that it goes on. So that is the meaning of Vande Guru. So when we talk of spiritual master, so here Sukadeva Goswami is worshipping all the Parampara Acharyas plus the Supreme Personality of Godhead very nicely. See, just before starting a Bhagavatam session, how much prayers he is offering, just to see. You are all taking Bhagavatam classes or going to take Bhagavatam classes. Learn from Sukadeva Goswami the submitting attitude and dependency at servital mood of the Bhagavata speaker on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, plus from that disciplic succession till his present Guru. To everyone he has to pray. Not that only to one person you pray or directly to the Lord. No. So then only because when we pray to Guru, Guru will pray to his Guru, and in the way, when you pray all the Gurus will pray to Krishna to inspire you, to use you as an instrument for propagating the glories of Lord Krishna and his devotees. So this is the beauty. So this Srimad Bhagavatam began by Sukadeva Goswami as an answer to the questions raised by Parikshit Maharaj. He's going to talk of the wonderful, exalted creation of this universe, which is never known to greatest of scientists or even the demigods. Such knowledge. So one should not get deviated by hearing that into a astronomical attitude or, science and, jnana type of thing. One should not be attracted. One should simply praise the Supreme Personality of God for his potency and his leela, all these things. So this prayer is so sincerely, he is praying here so that his words, his statements be decorated with the pleasing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that the hearers will be benefited spiritually, though he is going to talk of the material creation. But he wants the hearer to be, spiritually benefited. So connecting with Krishna at every word, every statement, unless otherwise you connect to Krishna, where is the question of pleasing the senses of Krishna? Isn't it? So Sukadeva Goswami is going to speak about the creation as Parikshit Maharaja asked. So he's connecting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this particular creation in so many different ways. Starting very beginning from the prayer itself, he is telling. In the prayer itself, he is told how it is created, how Mahavishnu came, and Mahavishnu has, from the pores of the Mahavishnu's hair, the universes came. Everything he is telling already the answer in the prayer. That's the beauty of this Acharya. It's not just answering the question, prayer separate, answer separate. No, the answer is also there as part of the prayers. This is very beautiful. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam is nectarian. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. How it begins with offering obeisances to Krishna. Similarly, Vyasadeva also, when he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first stanza is Vyasadeva who is invoking the Gayatri mantra, Dhimahi. So he says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, son of Vasudeva, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janma tasya etaha. So where the Bhagavad Gita ends, there Bhagavatam starts. Where the Vedanta Sutra ends, the same Vedanta Sutra is repeated in Bhagavatam's very first sloka. Janma datyataya. So everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. And invoking the Dhimahi, the Gayatri mantra, so that this Bhagavatam can be. So Bhagavatam is not an ordinary thing, carelessly reading just because it's available. You just think of Parikshit Maharaj, after getting the curls in such a young age, he could reciprocate the curls also. He could have escaped the curls. He could make the curls nullified. That potency he had, and he was very youthful, very young. And then at that time, he has given up everything, and in search of his spiritual master, he came and to the Ganges, leaving everything. So he had to renounce everything and he has to come, and still he didn't get the spiritual master. There were so many yogis and rishis were present. So whom will he select spiritual master became a big question. And Krishna, by the mercy, he has sent Sukadeva Goswami. Otherwise, Narad Muni was present, Vyasadeva was present, they are exalted spiritual masters. Why not one be confused? But, Lord is according to the sincerity and serious endeavor of Parikshit Maharaj, the Lord has sent. So much of endeavor Parikshit had to put to receive the spiritual master. But we are very fortunate that the spiritual master has come all the way to our house, our place, and he searched us rather than we searching him. Just see in the Kali Yuga, how merciful these Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disciples and associates are. He has come all the way here in search of us. We are supposed to search for him, that too after renouncing everything, which is quite impossible, you see, for our life. So you can see the mercy. So nevertheless, we should not underestimate the easy access to Guru Maharaj we are getting. It is as Parikshit Maharaj got access to Sukadeva Goswami, as Vyasadeva got access to Narad Muni, as Narad Muni got access to Brahma. 100%. Not even a slightest negligence should be there. We should find the worth of our spiritual master to us, the relation. This is not just freely available already and all these things just by looking at, just because they are very merciful that they came and give us this initiation and Bhagavatam. That should not underestimate the spiritual master of today. They're absolutely, why we say Vyasa Puja, they're perfect representation of Vyasadeva. So it is Vyasa Puja, his appearance days are called. So we have to take it as serious as Parikshit Maharaj is taking this Srimad Bhagavatam. After all, we are reading the same Srimad Bhagavatam what Parikshit Maharaj had, not something else. It is the same exact words being repeated to us. So don't we is supposed to be as serious, as sincere as Parikshit Maharaj? As humble, submissive, and attentive as Parikshit Maharaj? We must. Because glory of Srimad Bhagavatam only increases, never diminishes, never comes to an end. After all, we are learning only what in today's Brahma, that also only few kalpas that had happened. What to speak of unlimited time? Not even today's Brahma, just a few hours of Brahma. Maybe maximum 1 day of Brahma. What about yesterday of Brahma? Only little reference is there that Narad Muni met four Bhakti Vedantas and served him and became a pure devotee. That's all we know about the previous day of Brahma. Each Brahma's day is called a Kalpa. And in the 24 hours of a Kalpa, 12 hours are the creation time, 12 hours are the sleeping time of Brahma, where the Pralaya comes and everything is annihilated. During the 12 hours creation of Brahma, 1 moment of Brahma is 1 year, according to our solar calculation. 1 moment of Brahma is 1 year here. Just see. So we need to understand that this particular Acharya Parampara and this Bhagavatam, which we are hearing, the same Bhagavatam, what was spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Brahma and Brahma to Narada and Radha to Vyasadeva and Vyasadeva to Sukadeva Goswami is the same thing. And Sukadeva Goswami is very elaborately, very beautifully explaining the Chatursloki Bhagavatam. And Narad Muni and Vyasadeva were very surprised. What a potency Sukadeva Goswami has that is explaining the Bhagavatam in such a way that even the layman can understand. This is how they wanted some Acharya to explain it, like what Sukadeva Goswami has explained. And Sukadeva Goswami is explaining very nicely, the right student and the right master. So our spiritual master is non-different from these personalities in the sense he represents them. He is an individual. He represents them. So we must not, because of their mercy, we have access to them. It should not underestimate. So we must give the full value and always depending on Guru and Gauranga for every moment, whatever we are speaking, whatever we are hearing, whatever we are thinking, whatever the transformation that we are undergoing, everything is by their mercy only. Our entire parampara is Kripa Siddha parampara. I told yesterday also. So we need to understand, show some gratitude of this particular Kripa that we are receiving. We are eternally indebted. We can never repay for what Guru Maharaj has done in our life. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, he is bringing even more nectarian than Srimad Bhagavatam, the live Bhagavatam of today, and is taking us into the Leela of Lord Chaitanya. Nobody has ever done that before. Sri Chaitanya book he is writing, which is nothing but Srimad Bhagavatam of today, live Bhagavatam. And there we are not witnessing, like here we are witnessing the events that has taken place, though it's past time, eternal. Still we are witnessed only because we are not within the past time. We can only see the past time because we are reading the commentary. But Guru Maharaj Chaitanya book is even beyond this. There you enter live into the pastime because the pastime is still going on. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime is still going on. And Guru Maharaj is narrating, not commentary. He is narrating, is compiling the pastime and taking us inside the pastime. No Acharya has ever done that in the past. We don't have an history. So we must understand what type of spiritual master that we have got. Thank you very much. So any questions or comments or realization, please do share with us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for the association. So we'll resume our class tomorrow morning sharp at 8 o'clock. Till then, Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Patita Pansila Prabhupada ki jai. Vaishnav Pranam. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।